So Reiki is working to unblock and balance your energy and get it flowing the way that we need it to flow in order to be able to heal and calm and relax. Welcome to Ebbs and Flows with Erin. In this show, we're getting real about navigating the ups and downs of life together. I'm your host, Erin, and we're ditching the pressure to have it all figured out along the way because honestly, nobody does. We'll explore all things healing, growing, creating, and connecting. And if you deal with anxiety, depression, being a highly sensitive person, or just feeling overwhelmed by life sometimes, I see you, and this show is for you. My intention with these conversations is simple: to leave you feeling empowered, validated, and most importantly, reminded that you are never alone, no matter where you're at on your own journey. Learning that we all have the power to heal genuinely changed my life. And the best part, healing does not have to be complicated. The smallest changes really can make the biggest impact, and it can be joyful, fulfilling, and something that we do together. So join me in getting real about what it means to heal. Thank you for being here, and now let's get into it. Hello, and welcome to Ebbs and Flows with Erin, or welcome back to Ebbs and Flows with Erin if you have been watching or listening. You can do so anywhere you're listening to this podcast episode right now, or watch over on YouTube at the Ebbs and Flows with Erin YouTube channel. And I am very grateful to have you here with me today. I'm really excited to talk about this topic of Reiki. What is Reiki? How does it work? And how can it help you? So what are some things that Reiki can help with? Well, literally anything. It's a complementary healing modality. It is extremely gentle and non-invasive, and it's even used in hospitals to complement traditional medicine and medical procedures. There's research behind the benefits of Reiki. Some things that it's shown to help is to reduce physical pain, enhance better sleep, reduce stress and anxiety, boost your immune system, release trauma, emotional blockages, and negative attachments, enhance your body's innate healing abilities. I am a Reiki practitioner, a Reiki master teacher, and I became certified in level 1 and 2 back in the beginning of March 2023, and then worked through my master level and completed that on January 1st of 2024 to start off this year. And I actually specialized in animal Reiki for my master teacher level, which you don't necessarily have to specialize or take a separate course to be able to channel Reiki to animals if you are a practitioner or master. But I wanted to get as much information as I could specific to working with animals and their energy systems and the nuances of working with the different types of animals, because they are more energetically sensitive beings than even humans. And honestly, I've just always felt more connected to animals than humans since the day I was born. So that was really special, and it has been truly such an honor to be able to channel Reiki energy to both humans, animals, and to incorporate it in my everyday life. It really has become so ingrained in my day-to-day life. It is just a habit that I've made throughout different points of my day that has allowed me to have the capacity to move through life in a way where I'm not so overwhelmed, especially as a highly sensitive person with anxiety, ADHD, historically depression. Reiki has allowed me to regulate my nervous system, manage my energy, and be able to take on life without being throttled by it, and bettering my overall health and wellness in a holistic way, which this podcast is all about. And I've said it a million times, but it's true. Learning that we all have the power to heal within ourselves was truly the greatest lesson I've ever learned in my life. So what is Reiki? Reiki is a holistic energy healing modality. It was founded by Dr. Mikao Usui in Japan in the early 1920s. And although Reiki was founded then by Dr. Mikao Usui, it is believed and said that Reiki goes back far, far beyond that to ancient times, because the theory of Reiki is healing through your hands. And if you think about when a child hurts themselves, for example, your instinct is to put your hands on wherever you hurt yourself. Or if a parent is comforting a child, they'll often go put their hands on where the child hurt themselves and kiss wherever the child hurt themselves, healing through touch. But Dr. Mikao Usui is the one who formally founded and carried on Reiki practice. And I'm not going to talk about specifically what exactly it is that a practitioner or a master does to attune someone to Reiki or to channel Reiki in a session, either to themselves or others. I'm not going to talk about the details because that is meant traditionally to be kept sacred to those who choose to become attuned and certified. And so I'm just going to give an overview of what it is and how it works. And honestly, all that you need to know is the basics of what Reiki is in the simplest terms, because the reason that so many people feel so confused by Reiki or don't even really understand what it is. I know there's people in my life that they've known that I'm a Reiki practitioner and they're still like, what the heck is that? It's because it can be described and talked about in such a complex manner, and there's a lot of directions you can go with it, but I'm going to try and explain it in its simplest terms. And in its simplest terms, Reiki is universal life force energy. Rei in Japanese means universal, and ki means life force energy. And this life force energy is acknowledged across all cultures and has been since ancient times, known as ki or chi or prana or spirit. But no matter what you call it or how it's acknowledged, it is the life force energy that lives within all of us, all living things, everything in the world. The cells of our being. We have over 50 trillion cells within our bodies, and they are all connected to this universal life force energy. Everything is energy. That is one of the greatest lessons I have learned in my healing. Everything is energy. And Reiki is available within everyone. It's just that the modern day society and world, all the stimulus and stressors and distractions, there's so much that is diluting down and making this Reiki life force energy inaccessible to us, and it's making our energy blocked and stagnant and stuck. And that is where we come up with illnesses and injuries, stressors of the mind, the body, spirit. So anyone is able to access their life force energy, but the reason that someone is called to become attuned to Reiki by a master and certified in Reiki is because unless you are attuned and you learn this practice, you only have access to about 10 to 20% of the energy's actual healing abilities. So the practice of channeling Reiki is working to amplify the life force energy that is flowing through you. And we have 7 different energy centers, also known as chakras. And each of these centers governs a different area of your body, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And when these become blocked, stagnant, stuck, this is when the illnesses and injuries, etc., come up. So Reiki is working to unblock and balance your energy and get it flowing the way that we need it to flow in order to be able to heal and calm and relax. And so, in the simplest terms, Reiki is working to stimulate your nervous system into parasympathetic mode, which activates your rest and digest mode. And rest and digest is what you have to be in order for your body and mind to be able to heal, process, calm, and relax. And a lot of the time, most of the time, in this world, we are stuck in fight or flight or even freeze in sympathetic nervous system mode, and we don't even have the capacity or the time or space in day-to-day life to even allow ourselves to get into that rest and digest mode. So this is where taking time to incorporate a Reiki practice, whether you are receiving Reiki or you become attuned and do self-Reiki on yourself, this is where it's really powerful to balance our energy. And when we're balanced, we can experience harmony and joy and flow instead of overwhelm and anxiety, stress, all those things. And balance was the key word for me when I kept learning about energy healing and holistic healing, and I kept reading about and learning about Reiki before I got certified. The word balance kept sticking out to me because, as I've mentioned many times on this podcast, I'm someone who is a highly sensitive person, diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, depression, ADHD. I am very easily overwhelmed and overstimulated. So when I was reading about how Reiki works to balance your energy and regulate your nervous system and allow you to go through day-to-day life in a more regulated state, that was really calling me and standing out to me because that sounded like a dream. Because I was just so easily overwhelmed and overstimulated in life, which would lead to getting sick, the mental struggles, physical struggles, stress, all the things. So how does Reiki work? Well, the practitioner is acting as a channel for Reiki life force energy to flow through us and to and through you for your highest good, promoting vitality, calm, peace, joy. Reiki goes where it is most needed to go. And it's very important to note that a Reiki healer, master practitioner, is not healing you. We are providing the channel to amplify the life force energy within you and allow your body to do what it is innately made to do, heal itself. So we're just allowing this energy to flow through you more freely and amplifying it in order to unclog, unblock your energy centers and allow your energy to flow where you're able to even have the capacity to shift into that rest and digest mode where healing takes place. And Reiki is primarily channeled through the hands. So while it's channeled through the hands, it does not have to be hands-on. This is one of the myths of Reiki where people think you have to be hands-on. No, if you are in an in-person session, you can either have hands-on or hands hovering, where the practitioner will hover their hands over the different placements, and you're laying on a massage table, fully clothed, and you can have a treatment laying on your back, laying on your front, or both. You're fully clothed, hands-on or hands hovering. But if someone is attuned and certified in level 2 and 3, you're able to channel distance Reiki. And this is because Reiki life force energy travels through space and time. Proximity does not matter. And the way that I like to describe this is, think of radio waves. We can't see them, but we know that they're there. And we know that if we turn on the radio and we tune into certain channels, we can listen to the radio. That's like Reiki life force energy. It's all around us and within us. We just have to tune into it to optimize it. Reiki can also be channeled in a group setting or collectively. Sometimes I'll do collective distance Reiki healings that I announce on Instagram. I share more about Reiki, and I will sometimes do collective healings, especially on new or full moons. And at the full moon retreats that I hosted this year with my partner Lacey, I would channel Reiki individually to each recipient while she led yin yoga, so I'd be hands-on in certain positions with each recipient, but also I was channeling to the group as a collective. You can channel Reiki to anything. In my day-to-day life, I do myself Reiki. I channel Reiki to my electronics. I channel it to my car. I channel it to rooms in my house. I channel it to plants. I channel it to animals. I channel it to my food, water, literally anything you can channel Reiki to. And again, I'm not going to dive into exactly what that looks like because you have to go through certification and attunement to find that out. And if you're interested in that, as I mentioned, I am a master teacher. I haven't yet come up with a formal offering to teach and attune Reiki to others. I just haven't made the time or space for that. But if you have any questions or interest, just send me a message or an email, link down below. And Lacey and I have more workshops and retreats that will be coming up, and I will announce them here. And if you're in the Edmonton area, would absolutely love to have you out at one of those and channel Reiki to you. So like I said, if you're in person, you will be fully clothed on a massage table, and close your eyes, enter a relaxed meditative state, and the practitioner will do what they need to do. And a distance Reiki session, at least for me, I will send an email with healing frequency playlists that I suggest you listen to during your session and meditations that I suggest you do if you have the time before a session. But we don't have to be in touch at all during a distance session. You just have to book the time, be open to the energy, and trust that it's happening. Then post-session, you receive all the information you need. I do offer that, so again, linked below if you're interested. But my number one suggestion for Reiki, because what has truly made the biggest difference in my life is doing my self Reiki practice and channeling Reiki just throughout my day-to-day. I made the decision the weekend in March 2023 when I became certified in level 1 and 2. I decided I need to optimize. I don't know what exactly I'm going to do with this when it comes to offering it to others, but I need to optimize this in my life. I did this for a reason, and I want to see what I can do. And so every day, every morning I'd wake up, I would do a self Reiki practice on myself, and then over time I would just get in the habit of doing that, and then get in the habit of using and channeling Reiki just throughout my day-to-day more and more. And now I don't even have to think about it. It's just part of my life. I think in the last episode, it was my 6-month effects or update, and I was talking about my sleep and my sleep regimen, and I don't even think I mentioned Reiki, because when I talk about doing meditation or breathwork or stretching, journaling, I'm always channeling Reiki during those now. It becomes very natural to me, It's just part of my daily habits and routines now. And really, the best way to understand Reiki is to experience it for yourself. From what I've learned in all of my certifications, and I'm also part of the Reiki Healing Association, so I'm in contact with other Reiki practitioners and masters often, and a common thread is that many, even practitioners, have been skeptical of Reiki, and it was when they tried it for themselves that you just can't deny its benefit because you see it for yourself. So my suggestion is, if you really want to understand, just experience it for yourself. Have a session or even get certified, whatever you're feeling called to. I like to say I'm not in the business of convincing anyone, but I do want to make the information available for anyone who may feel interested or called to explore this modality, because energy healing in general just absolutely changed my life for the better. After struggling down the Western medicine, conventional medicine road for so long, and I just have all the proof now. I get sick way less often. My mental environment is way healthier. My body is healthier. In all the ways, Reiki has opened me up to a more flowy, balanced life. And also when it comes to grief, Reiki has been really powerful for me. When I got certified, I was in the midst of really trying to process the grief that I had kind of shoved down over the last years. And Reiki, although I like to try and explain it just in terms of energy and your nervous system, so it's easy to understand, but there is that part that connects you to a higher power. And when you can connect to a higher power, it's a reminder of just how much bigger life is than the things we face in our day-to-day and the things that we view as struggles, and the fact that we are literally part of the universe is within us, and we have so much more power within ourselves and beauty within ourselves and the universe than we even know about. And I just feel a lot more connected to my past loved ones, my higher self, my spirit team, whatever higher power you believe in. At least for me, Reiki was really able to allow me to build a strong connection with that. And as someone who has lost a lot of loved ones, that has been really special and something that I really treasure, because before this, I was going through a bit of a crisis when it came to my spiritual side. I wasn't sure how I could process my grief and connect to my past loved ones, my higher power, and I was really confused. So long story short, Reiki really helped me in that area too. And grief is a lifelong journey that ebbs and flows, as we say. But having something that you believe in or some sort of spiritual practice, in my experience, can help to ground you and to remind you that spirit is always there for you and within you. So that was a little bit of a side note, I think, but I hope this is all coming together and making sense. I do want to mention that, as I said, I don't currently have a formal offering to teach or attune others to Reiki, although I am able to as a master teacher. We will see where the future goes with that, but I do want to link below the Sacred Wellness School of Healing Arts, I believe it's called. I'm going to link it below. Timmy, she was the master that I took my in-person level 1 and 2 certification with back in March 2023. And she has this school. Not only does she offer all the Reiki courses, but she offers many holistic healing modality courses you can get certified in. And I highly, highly recommend her. She offers them in person and online. So I will link that below if you're interested. There's also the Reiki Healing Association, which I am part of the association, and I took my Master Teacher Animal course through them. I will link them as well. They also just have a ton of resources on Reiki. And another one of my favorite Reiki resources is Pamela Miles on Instagram and her website. She's the first ever medical Reiki master, and she approaches Reiki from a very medical, scientific approach, and she's a huge advocate for self-Reiki, so I will link her as well if you're interested. To end off, I want to bust some Reiki myths, because as I've said, there is a lot of information, whether it's true or misinformation, or just different ways that people view or talk about Reiki, and I want to bust some myths. from the Usui lineage of Reiki, which is the traditional lineage of Reiki that Dr. Mikao Usui founded and created back in the early 1920s. So now let's bust some myths. So the first myth or question people have often is, what about my religion or my beliefs? Well, Reiki is complementary to any belief system or any religion because it has no religious doctrine. Reiki is not religious, and it draws on the same principles as things like acupuncture and yoga, working with your energy systems. Again, the best way to understand it is to experience it for yourself. Reiki can do no harm. It cannot be a negative thing. It can do no wrong. So absolute worst case scenario, you try it and you just think, meh, I don't think that did anything, or that wasn't for me. But you're not going to be negatively impacted by Reiki. So people might think that it has to be hands-on and they're not comfortable with that. But the truth is, it does not have to be hands-on. You can be hands hovering and get the same effect, or even have distance Reiki channeled, as we've talked about. And a lot of the time, this is ideal and preferred by people because it enables you to be in your most comfortable, relaxing space to get the most out of your session. And when it comes to animals and animal Reiki, distance is often preferred because animals do need to be in a relaxed state to optimize their Reiki treatment. So to schedule it at some time when they're sleeping in their comfortable space, because animals are more energetically sensitive than even humans, so they really do need to be in their comfortable space in order to optimize their Reiki session. Okay, another myth or another question people have is, okay, so Reiki can cure me, right? And no, that's wrong. Reiki is not a cure, and it does not promise any specific outcome or cure. And if a practitioner or master is promising you a specific cure or that they can heal a specific thing, that is a red flag, because as I've said, we are not healing you. We are providing a channel for life force energy to flow through you and amplify and balance your energy centers so that your body is able to do what it's innately made to do, which is to heal. We're just helping you get into that balanced state and clear out the stagnant, blocked, congested energy. So bringing your mind, body, and spirit into balance. So for example, here, say someone has a session booked and they ask, okay, I've had a really bad head cold. Can you cure that? I would say, no, sorry, I don't specifically cure anything, but what I can do is amplify the energy to move through you and balance your body's energy centers and regulate your nervous system so that it can enter the rest and digest mode that it needs to be in order to heal. Another question, is Reiki just for humans? No. As I've now mentioned in this episode, Reiki is literally for anything. You can Reiki humans, animals, plants, food, water, electronics, buildings, spaces, objects, literally anything. Okay, I hope that I could make this make sense and explain in simple terms what Reiki is, how it works, and why you might want to try it. There's a lot more that I could say, and I could go on, but I don't want to overload with information. If you have any questions or want to discuss further about Reiki, you know where to find me. It's all linked in the show notes below. And my number one message here is just for you to know that you have such a greater ability to heal within yourself than you know and than anyone has ever told you. Reiki and energy healing in itself has really shown me this and proven it to me. We just have to be able to allow ourselves the time and space and the capacity to shift into our rest and digest parasympathetic nervous system state, allow our energies to balance, and our body will do what it is meant to do. And Reiki is a divine, gentle, non-invasive way to allow this to happen. There are also several nervous system regulation tools that you can use to help this process, and I shared about those in our past episode about nervous system regulation and tools to do so. If you're interested, check that out. I can't wait to continue these conversations with you guys. Thank you for being here. I'm sending so much love, healing, and gratitude, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.